What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of Constant Deposit between myself, Kyle Mudger, and Mr. Andrew Campbell. Andrew, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Great to be back. I'm actually joining us today from Las Vegas, so it's really cool to be talking about a game and be right here and get the hype and the action of the game live down in Sportsbook.
Absolutely. As we mentioned in our first episode, we use FanDuel for all of our picks. Um, so yeah, one Thursday night game tomorrow. Monday night, we had two games, did not do the best by any means. I don't think the public did very good either. I'm sure a lot of people were on the Chargers and just about everyone was on the Dolphins. So I don't think anyone really hit big on Monday. But new week 15, got two teams coming in at 5 and 8 between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas Raiders. So what are your thoughts on the game?
My initial thoughts that this is going to be a very gritty game. When we found the news that the Los Angeles Chargers lost their starting quarterback, that's never good. Which means that they're running on a QB that has very little time in the Chargers offense. And so I expect him to mm, play play an okay game, but I don't see him going off, and I don't see the Chargers going off. I think Aiden O'Connell hasn't been doing well either, so it's not much to say on a we're coming off a 3-0 loss, low scoring game. I mean, this game is probably going to live up to the same expectations to the game that the Raiders just had.
Yeah, no Justin Herbert gone for the season. I don't think the Chargers have much of a season anyway. Very disappointing. It's a team that always gets hit by the injury bug with their big time players. I don't see the Chargers not passing the ball. I honestly think that they will let Easton Stick rip it around. They still have many playmakers, Austin Eckler, um, just a tremendous receiving back, maybe even the best in the league. Keenan Allen, one of the best wide receivers out there. And then they got some other young guys that I think Easton Stick is going to turn to. Both teams not very good against the pass. So, um, the last time these two teams got together, Devontae Adams, he had 8 catches for 75 yards. I say about that same result, maybe even more yards. The Chargers are awful against the pass. So we got the over-under set at 34 and a half right now. I do like the under just because we have two quarterbacks that, I mean, we've seen plenty of Aiden O'Connell and it hasn't been very good. And Easton Stick, not much to really say there. I guess we'll find out. But I like the under. I can see a game, around maybe 17, 15. That's a total of 32 there. I don't know how this can be like a 24-20 game where you're at like 44 and you just go over by 9 points. I just don't see it.
I completely agree. What I like about the under here is you think about that as two teams that are struggling offensively have to combine for 4 touchdowns. And honestly, recently in the last 6 games, the Raiders have only managed to score more than 14 points in I think 2 of their last 6 games. So it's going to be really tough, I think, for the four of the or for both of those teams to combine for 4 touchdowns or more. I think this is a safe bet to go with under 34.5. Um, it could be a field goal game. The teams have to see the end zone in order for that over to hit, and I just don't see that happening.
The only way that it does fit is just the fact that these defenses are not good. I mean, yeah, you take two offenses that, are playing with the kind of quarterbacks that they're putting out there. But the thing that could help the over is that both defenses are bad. So, there's two sides of it. As we jump into the passing, we got both the quarterbacks here with their numbers. Aiden O'Connell, 194 and a half. I don't really like that number. Um, It seems like every week I'm tossing out quarterbacks for 200, 225, 250. I nailed Jordan Love's passing yards on Monday. I said 218. And what did he finish with? He finished with 218.
If only there was a
First
bet.
episode that may you know what? That could have been my only bet that I would have hit. So, um, Easton Stick, he's listed at 190 and a half. I do like him to go over just because I don't know if the Chargers are going to be trailing the whole game, so he's going to be ha forcing to be throwing the ball. Um, I don't know. I think he can have a game over that. Like I said, he still has Keenan Allen, he still has Austin Eckler, and a bunch of young good receivers that if they catch the ball, um, I think that he can go over 190 and a half. So I'm definitely gonna put a little something on that one for him.
I think he definitely has the receivers, but I have not seen him in action enough to really be able to feel comfortable betting. That's one that I'm going to steer clear of. Aiden O'Connell, though, I actually like that 194.5 number. The last time the Chargers met, the two teams, he put up 238 total passing yards against them. And that was just a couple weeks ago when they met. So I think Aiden O'Connell is more than willing to hit the 194.5. He has the weapons to do it again. I think he has a chance against this Charger defense. It just keeps crumbling and crumbling. Like you mentioned, that both teams defensively are just at a standstill right now. So I think O'Connell hits, and I'm not comfortable one way or the other on stick tomorrow night.
It makes this is what it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to put bets together and just match each other so we both lose. We obviously both want to win, but it makes it more fun that we can, hey, I'll go Easton Stick. What do I gotta lose? Money? I'm doing that anyways. That's why this podcast is called Constant Deposit. So um, now we swing over to a guy that I'm very comfortable with. I have him in quite a few fantasy leagues. Um, has not been doing too well this year. Um, just does not see the ball as much as he should for his level of talent. We have Devontae Adams listed at 68 and a half receiving yards. I think he'll go over that. Like I said, the last time these two teams got together, he caught 8 balls for 75. I think he could have like a 6 catch game for maybe like a 91, something like that. Just a um, couple good, 12-yard catches, get a couple of those adding up. He's not really just a 2, 3 yard kind of guy. He's way too talented to even just not see the ball in general, which I still can't believe that they're not throwing the ball to him 19 times a game. Um, so yeah, I think my favorite player prop is him to go over 68 and a half receiving yards. How about you?
I agree with that. I think he's going to hit 68 and a half receiving yards, and I would even throw in 4+ receptions to get there. And as I was talking about O'Connell earlier, he has to prove himself right now because you have to keep in mind that they do have Jimmy Garoppolo on the bench, and I can let you know that the Raiders fans are not happy with the level of play that's been coming out of this Raiders offense. And quite honestly, they asked a few questions on why Garoppolo didn't come in the second half to try and rejuvenate the second half when it was 0-0 and neither quarterback can spark anything. So I think O'Connell goes out with a chip on his shoulder and hits his over, and I think Devontae Adams is going to have to be a huge part of that. But on the other side, I see Keenan Allen, 4+ reception, 40 yards. I'm not sure what the payout is on that right now, but I think the 4+ reception mark and the 40 yard is a safe payout.
And I mean, those are the two biggest names that, in the league, up there. I think it's a really, really fun parlay when you put those two together for tomorrow. At the time of this podcast, receiving props are not up, so we are unable to check that for you. But yeah, I think if you put, Adams for over yards, and 4 catches, Keenan Allen 4 catches, maybe even Keenan Allen 60 yards, that's pretty close to Adams, maybe in 70. I think that'd be a little fun little parlay to put together there. And we both like Devontae Adams to score a touchdown. Um, Aiden O'Connell, he at the time of this podcast, is listed at 0.5 for passing touchdowns. So I Josh Jacobs is up in the air at this time. So if he doesn't play, I think it'll help you for your O'Connell passing yards. Um, Same thing. We absolutely nailed our touchdown. Anytime touchdown scores on Monday, went 3 for 4 pretty much. I mean, Jaden Reed, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, And then Tyreek Hill obviously went down with the injury, and I was more frustrated that he even came back in the game, giving us a little bit of hope to go 4 for 4 in our first episode. But yeah, we both like Devontae Adams for anytime touchdown score. Any thoughts behind why you chose him though?
I just think the Raiders are going to come out with a chip on their shoulders. So as much as I would love to go with Austin Eckler because he's a go-to person for the Chargers and the score, because not only can he run the ball, but if it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 2 with a dump pass, he's the first person they're going to look for to score that touchdown. So I do like Eckler, but I am a little bit worried about that because I don't think that they're going to score more than 2 touchdowns and to take a chance when there's multiple people that could catch a ball, take a chance that it's going to be Eckler. I'm not as comfortable with that, but I am definitely comfortable on the Devontae Adams.
So we got the spread at 3.5 on the Raiders. I initially wanted to go with the Raiders, just given the fact that obviously Justin Herbert isn't playing. Um, Changed my mind though. Not going Chargers. I'm just not leaning anyway. I'm right in the middle of the teeter totter. I'm right smack in the middle on the bar. So I'm not going up or down. I'm not going any which way. So sorry everyone. I do not have a spread pick for you. I just think this game literally could be a one score game. I'm sorry, a 1 point game. Like a 17-16. I said 17-15 in the opening. So 3.5. Not really leaning any which way. What about you?
I still like the Raiders 3.5. I love, love, love this a lot more when it was set at 2.5 and a field goal wins and covers the
Yeah.
spread. That's when I love those spread bets because it's worth a little extra money to say they're going to win by 3 rather than the money line. Bumping it up to 3.5. They know something we don't know clearly there, and I still think Raiders cover the 3.5. So not only am I gonna say they're gonna cover this or money line on the Raiders, they'll cover the spread at 3.5, and we'll still hit the under.
And I do like Raiders money line, but I know for a fact that when I wake up Thursday morning, I'm gonna like the Chargers for some reason. So um for this, for recording this right now, for a second episode, I'm gonna go Raiders money line though. So 4 leg parlay. Um we're both pretty close on this. And I do think it has a good chance of hitting. Close on my Monday 4 leg parlay. Just didn't get the Jaden Reed 40 yards. So mine, I have Devontae Adams 50 receiving yards and Devontae Adams 5 catches. Jacoby Myers 25 receiving yards. And Austin Eckler 25 rushing yards. That is at plus 143 at this time. And you're pretty similar, but you just got the Raiders 3.5 spread on there. What else you got with that?
I like adding this as a 4+ leg parlay and not just a four because there were a few things that I was like, oh, I'm feeling confident in this. Raiders 3.5 spread, like I mentioned, that's already putting you at, I think, -110 to start, -110 already. You add Eckler 25 plus rushing yards, which is typically sitting at about -1100. And then Eckler at 3+ receptions. I think last time that was at -270. And then you add in Adams with 5 receptions and 50 yards. I'm going to assume this sits you somewhere at around plus 250. But since player props aren't quite posted right now, I would have loved to place this bet before they took off player props because I feel pretty good about this multiple leg parlay.
And the fun thing about FanDuel is that you can find so much stuff. I mean, so much stuff. There's so many weird bets. I mean, you can put $1 on something that could hit for 2,000. I mean, that's the fun in betting. And kind of like we were talking Monday, we called it our best bets, which we're changing this week because um, nothing is a best bet for us. So yeah, we're going to change that to best finds for the odds. I, for some reason, and everyone's going to laugh at me for this. I like the Raiders first half, team total points over 9.5. You are the guy that dabbles with first quarter and first half bets constantly, and I steer clear of them. But I'm giving it a shot. It's episode 2. I'm throwing things out there. So I'm going Raiders first half team total points over 9.5. You give me an opening drive touchdown, Devontae Adams right there on the first drive for us. Second quarter, you kick a field goal, we're there.
And with that over 9.5, truly it matters of who gets the first kickoff and who has possession in the final 2 minutes, because the final 2 minutes, it's almost field goal worthy. People play contained defense so much, and I strongly hate that, but we could talk about that another day about how defenses cover in the final 2 minutes. But mine, I was looking through the bets and I saw any quarter that ends scoreless with a 3-0 finish last week. How could I not want to take this bet? You have a 3-0 game last week. You have quarterbacks who have been struggling. You have defenses and offenses, and I'm going with the under and all about any quarter ends scoreless, sitting at plus 135. Easy $10 bet, win 13.50 right there.
I love it. I'm going in with you on that one. Um, yeah, we could have 3 quarters go scoreless. Who knows? So, um, what we are going to add in, and obviously, if our first one hits, we're going to continue it as episodes go on. First episode was our first one, just getting a feel for it, just getting some bets out there, seeing how things flow with the podcast. So what Andrew is going to do and what I'm going to do is we are going to turn 10,000, I'm sorry, $10. I don't even have $10,000. $10 into 1,000 by the end of the season. By February, correct? We're going to the
Yes,
Super
going
Bowl.
through the Super Bowl.
Okay. So $10 into 1 grand. You can go any way you want. So we took it as the odds are minus 150 to, I mean, you can go any which way you want. You can go from minus 150 to, I mean, plus 1,000 if you really want to get greedy with it. But we're going minus 150 or better. Um, Mine's around the minus 130 mark. As soon as I placed this, I didn't catch it, but they took off the receiving props this evening when we are recording this. So mine is a 3-leg parlay, and this will be $10. So I think it's the payout's probably going to be around 16, $17. So $10 to win $6 or $7, something like that. I think that's going to be the case with this one. So I'm going Devontae Adams, 50 receiving yards. Keenan Allen, 40 receiving yards, and Austin Eckler, 25 rushing yards, which is similar to my 4-leg. So if I lose this one, I don't make it past step one of turning $10 into 1,000. But I like it. You know, I'm going with the big names. I don't want to say it's a lock, you know, as much as I want to, but I like it. I like it for the first step in our process here.
What's really cool about this too is say you don't win next week and you start over with $10 again. By the end of the season, our goal is still to hit $1,000. So if you miss and you just lost it, because say if I my bet is $10 and I win $10, next week my bet's going to be $20 and keep adding on. And then if you do miss, you start back at $10. But say I'm only at $80 at the end of the season, right before the Super Bowl, and I'm still trying to hit that 1,000. I'm going to build a parlay that's going to get me over $1,000 if it hits. So I'll use the $80, which means that the odds have to be way higher, which is less likely to happen. But that $80 is still going to somehow turn into $1,000 if that final leg hits at the end. So it's fun because there's still always a chance at the end of this season to walk away with $1,000. But leading into that, I guess I never got the chance to state that I am going with Austin Eckler over 78.5 rushing plus receiving yards. He is a big target. They throw to him a lot. He's rushing a lot. Low scoring game, lots of running. Defenses that can't stop the run. Let's go for it. And that's sitting at minus 114.
I like it. I honestly do because he's a guy that could catch a screen pass and turn it into you know, a 45-yard gain. And I mean, right there is your, you know, pretty much half. So I like it. Um, so yeah, this is episode 2 Um, Hoping to have one for you guys before this weekend. We have three Saturday games. Only one Monday nighter, I believe. The rest are on Sunday. I will be at the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills game, 425 Sunday. So I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of bets for that game because I want to go. I want to root on Dallas and I want to win some money as well. So if I can do that in one day, which I've been doing a lot this year with the Cowboys and some money, so I'll take it. Should be a phenomenal game because I think the Bills are improving. I do think that they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're way too good to not make the playoffs, but we'll talk about that for Sunday's games in our next episode. So, Andrew, as always, it's a pleasure. Episode two. We got many more rolling on. Looking forward to it. And let's try and make some money between the Chargers and Raiders tomorrow.
Let's do it. Thanks, Kyle.
We'll see you.